Hello and happy new year, YouTube friends. Been about 3 weeks since my last video. Thought I'd touch base and actually thought I wanted to share today. Well, first of all, I want to say year's off to a good start. Hope your year's off to an okay start. In general, good vibes. Message I want to share today that was actually about something I came up with when I was talking to one of my people during office hours for Home Team, and that is the value of keeping specifically a hobby, right? So intentionally not being your main line of focus, a hobby that you're not great at, that doesn't come naturally to you. And so even if you are, say, maybe taking game development as a professional track, just an example of people that I work with, from a programming angle, well then still complementing it with some areas, sound effects, game art, level design, some other piece of it that you embrace as, maybe I'm not great at it, but I do it, and that the value that I find in that, and that's some, at any given time in my life, kept some hobbies that I was happy to do, enjoyed, had fun doing, maybe wasn't the best at, or didn't even really strive for perfection in, basically helps us stay in a beginner mindset, stay in a beginner frame where we don't mind, we're not embarrassed about doing some things that there is better ways to do. And where that's especially valuable is when you're constantly trying to take on new skills, which certainly comes up in game development. I'm sure lots of other fields have it as well. Where at any given time, there's new engines, new platforms, new approaches, new techniques. They completely threw out the old way of doing stuff. You gotta learn the new way of doing stuff. In those cases, it's really beneficial to have kind of gotten over your sense of perfection of, well, it's not worth doing unless I'm really good at it. That's where it starts to squeeze us out over time of, we cling to the things we know how to do, the way we know how to do them. And that's going to get smaller and smaller as they become less and less relevant. You've got to kind of keep up with what's the newer way, what's the new options. And even if we don't get distracted by the shiny, times are going to change. We've got to change with them. And I really have found that I think a helpful, healthy attitude towards that is, again, and maybe it's sketching, maybe it's writing, maybe it's making videos, right? Making music. Something that it's not your main thing, that you're okay with it not being your main thing, and really just embracing it with full love of, I do this because I like doing it. I don't care if I'm not the best at it, and how much that helps open up our mind to when we do within our actual area of focus, engineering or design or whatever it is that we actually care to get better at, to a professional degree, to mastery, to be paid to do, and so on. When there's needs to grow in those areas, I find that mindset really maps over well to, okay, well, I can embrace this the way I embrace that at first. And it makes us not be afraid to be a beginner. It makes us not afraid to do something that we know there's lots of room to grow in that we're not great at yet. And I think that that's been really helpful to me. And hopefully it might be something that's been helpful to you in your path, or could be in the future. I'm also going to throw in there a quick note. Of course, as part of the new year, we do have new applications being processed for Home Team. I know some of you already applied. Awesome. I'm getting those sorted out within the next couple weeks. A couple people who said they were going to maybe join us in December said, actually, let's join us in January, so let's get to them. But I do want to say we do have more sponsorships open soonish in our application process. And remember what that means is that it's the full benefits of the trainers, support officer hours with me, to our project processes, to learning our techniques, to our materials, all that at literally no cost to the person directly, potentially you as the applicant. If you're in a financial situation where the dues would be out of your budget, that is why we have a Patreon set up for my company, Gamketo LLC, and for Home Team Game Dev. For more details about that, go to hometeamgamedev.com, and on the application it explains everything about how the sponsorship option works, if that's what you would need to participate. There is a slightly longer wait, but it is we've had great results for people, right? We've had long-term members out of it, had project leads out of it, had people who've changed careers out of it, had people just really break out of having not finished games, having not worked on team projects, having not followed through on things in the past because they didn't have the resources, didn't have the support they needed, been able to thrive with that help. So I hope to make that work for more people. We have an increase in sponsorship from the past quarter, and I want to see more people applying to that. So that's heads up with that. But aside from that, again, keeping in mind, it is valuable to keep a side hobby that is not your main focus. And if it's not all of game development, then some other piece of game development that's outside your primary areas, to not abandon it because it's not going to be your main thing. That's all for the day. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for following. I'm not sure what my next video will be, but catch you then. Happy New Year. Bye for now.